A good evening to you all, and thank you very much for joining us here on Rwanda Television News. Our hope is that you had yourselves a productive Thursday and are continuing to enjoy the festive season. Now here's a sneak peek at our edition tonight. President Paul Kagame has called for an end to acts of violence targeting survivors of the genocide against the Tutsi, including killings, urging that perpetrators be held accountable through legal means. Mental health professionals are underscoring the importance of collaboration in the journey toward healing from trauma, noting that resilience fosters hope for a brighter future. On the international scale, U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has been named Time magazine's Person of the Year. Time bestowed this title on Trump once before, back in 2016. We are glad that you are here with us tonight, coming to you straight from the heart of Africa, Kigali. My name is Martina Abera. Now, President Paul Kagame has called for an end to acts of violence targeting survivors of the genocide against the Tutsi, including killings, urging that perpetrators be held accountable through legal means. If these measures fail, he warned, alternative actions would be considered. This message was delivered during the swearing-in ceremony of senior officials of the Supreme Court on Thursday. We have more on this report.
The
ceremony began with the oath of office by Domitille Mukantaganzwa, sworn in as the president of the Supreme Court, followed by Alphonse Hitiaremye, who took the oath as vice president of the Supreme Court. In her remarks, the new Chief Justice of Rwanda acknowledged the progress made in the country's judicial system, but noted that there is still room for improvement.
We assure you that we fully understand the responsibilities you have bestowed upon us, and we will properly carry them out. We will strive to give Rwandans and anyone else living in the country true justice, dispensed in a timely fashion. After all, justice delayed is considered justice denied. We will do everything in our power to ensure that people have confidence in the justice we provide.
President Paul Kagame, reflecting on Rwanda's tragic history, emphasized that no one should undermine justice or take the country back to those dark times by denying justice to Rwandans. I spoke of our history, and in general, no one got the justice they wanted and was proper for them. However, there are those that fared much worse than everybody else. That is how our history arose, that we painfully remember. The fact that even today there are those who want to take us back, then justice must be used to deal with the matter, and if that is not done, other means will be employed. Those things must stop. The fact that people who were so victimized in the past and even targeted for elimination are now being killed with deliberate ideologies meant to encourage the targeting of such people in their homes necessitates the use of the law. If not, other means will come into play. He also issued a strong warning to those who deliberately distort Rwanda's laws to serve their political interests.
Abari hanze abari mu gihugu bafatanije ndetse bikajyamo n'amahanga.
As for those others that play political games using empty words, be it those within the country or beyond its borders, or even the people they work with abroad, who seek to make all of this meaningless, well, we are not meaningless and neither are our laws. The justice I speak of that exists must not become meaningless. No politics can transform justice into nothing. That is impossible. I want you to hear me on this. It is not necessary for you to see it, because it can still be stopped without people realizing it. Additionally, His Excellency the President also called for an end to the culture of greed and the misuse of public resources, stressing that such practices must stop permanently through legal means.
hari ibindi bitarimo kubana neza byigwizaho ibintu umutungo wa twese.
There are other matters that do not encourage cohesion, that take the public's wealth, that should be assisting them in the many challenges that people face, only for individuals to take and misuse that wealth. That too must stop. The best way to stop such practices is using the justice system and the country's laws.
Kandi nta buryo bundi bwiza bwo kubihagarika bitanyuze mu butabera, bitanyuze mu mategeko.
The swearing-in ceremony was followed by a handover between Domitille Mukanaganzwa and her predecessor, Dr. Faustine Heziryayo.
President Paul Kagame has hosted a cocktail reception to welcome the guests and participants attending the FIA Awards 2024. During the event, the FIA took the opportunity to officially unveil a Made in Rwanda cross car entirely assembled from scratch by the Rwanda Automobile Club team in collaboration with students from IPRC and with the support of FIA technicians. President Kagame expressed his gratitude to all the attendees, encouraging them to feel at home, while the president of the FIA also thanked everyone for their participation, but most importantly, Rwanda for their warm hospitality and welcome. He highlighted the positive feedback from FIA members, particularly praising the high level of security. Not moving far from that, as Rwanda hosts the prestigious FIA General Assembly and Awards this week, it marks a historic moment for the country and the continent in global motorsport. RBA's Adam Squizera had an exclusive interview with FIA President Mohammed Ben Sulayem about this event.
You know, it's always a pleasure to be right here with you on RTV. I'm Adam Squizera, and I'm very glad to host today the FIA President Mohammed Ben Sulayem. You are very welcome on RTV.
Thank you, Adam. It's a pleasure and honor to be here also.
This is the FIA, which is going to be hosted for the first time on the African continent, for the first time in Rwanda particularly. I want to understand for you, what does it mean?
Okay, let's go a bit back. I mean, it's the FIA. FIA is Federation International Automobile. We have the federation and we have the automobile, but the international is the key word. We are international, so we have to be international, not just by the name. And tell you the truth, I come from a place which is not Europe, so it is for the 118 years. When I was elected, after 118 years of the FIA, I was the first non-European to be elected as the president. So it opens for the rest of the world that we mean diversity. When we talk about diversity, it's not just a noise to get a coverage. So it is a historical moment for us. It is the first ever in 120 years in Africa, and to choose Rwanda, it was the blessing also of your government. I really congratulate the government for hosting many of the important conferences. It was not easy to convince the, I would say, the members to come here, because, you know, some people just read something and then they say, okay, don't go outside Europe, or Africa or Asia is not safe. I can see it even talking about my own country. Yeah. And then I said to the members, I said, you elected me. Do you really think I will take you to a place which is not safe? But then it came also from the government. I'm a big believer that water goes downhill. So you get the blessing and the support. And it took actually a year with the negotiation. We made it right, and we are here. And the people, when they came here, actually they sent the message and said, come here and just enjoy Rwanda. I am really honored to be here. I thank everyone that supported it, and the General Assembly will be successful.
That was my question, actually. You know, on this African continent, they talk about very many words on it, and you know, it's not a safe place. You know, it's not. But how did you get
manage? No, I mean, you know, they say controversial. I mean, I even listen a lot to your president.
Yeah.
Also, Mr. President, Mr. Paul Kagame, and when I learned a lot by listening, the way he expressed himself.
Yeah.
He's experienced. He really represent not just Rwanda but Africa in the right way, with respect. And you know, when I challenged these people, I just said, what evidence you have of just going and telling other members not to go? If you don't feel safe, check with the FIA. You trusted the FIA, and keep on trusting them. You know, and then it came back to saying about this virus and this whatever. And then I said, you know what? I will not be speaking. I will let our health department, our doctors speak to them, and then go on publicly. So constant reminder, phone calls, even not only letters, WhatsApp, and also having also the general manager at his level to send. And now I'm impressed to see the people actually making their way to come to Rwanda. People are coming from Chile, from Brazil. I mean, you look, Latin America is far. And then you have China, and you have Japan, and you have Australia, and you have New Zealand, and of course in the middle.
Sure. And, I think that really gives a very clear context of why you chose Africa, why you chose Rwanda particularly. But let's dive into the nature of this event at the General Assembly, as well as the FIA Awards ceremony, which will both take place on Friday. I want to know the FIA Awards. What do the FIA Awards represent for the motorsport community?
An inspiration, and to have the champions of Formula 1, Formula 1, the first, the second, the third, Formula 2, Formula 3, and then you have the world rally champion, the world rally and off-road, and then you have all of them, the Formula E, I mean the World Cup. You have the young people coming here, the stars, you have the top drivers coming here, gathering in Rwanda, receiving their trophy, and then they will go. But when they go, they will go with a message. I'm a big believer of that. Having the athletes here who really inspire people with motorsport, and also they are ambassadors for the goodwill of sport, not just motorsport. It is a good message for Rwanda, and I am confident that with your ability also, we can make good General Assembly and a great award. One thing I will tell you, Adam, that even when I spoke to my team, I said, kindly do not go there and importing everything. This is not, a place that you might think of. This is an advanced place. Out of respect, you go to them and just tell them, tick the boxes. What can you offer? And then let us from the FIA support them with the things that they want.
Like, let's talk about this game on the African continent. Yes, we are in Rwanda. Do you see any potential development of the motorsport development on this our very own continent of Africa, and specifically right here in Rwanda?
When I thought of coming here, I mean, the thought came 14 years ago, and it took me 12 years of campaign to reach. But then when I reached, I said in my manifesto, it's very clear. Reach to everyone, have growth for the motorsport. It doesn't add on, you know, like we don't have that many drivers compared to our reach. So I said, what is the problem with our federation? It's the expense of the cars. So if we talk about affordable, accessible and affordable motorsport, we're talking about expensive cars. So I realized that it is so expensive to have the grassroots. What is the grassroots? Is either you go to cross car or you go to a karting. And then the price is nearly 30,000 euro. Who can afford it? You know, in Europe, to put your daughter or your son, it costs for karting, which is the grassroots that goes to Formula One, nearly 300,000 euro a year. So people are saying it is a sport for the rich man club. So I said, that is not going to happen. So we brought to Rwanda the first ever cross car built in Rwanda.
Interesting.
So what did we do? It took me actually 2 years to make sure that the legal agrees on it. And then we took our blueprint and we took our safety specification, which the Rwandan people is no less, you know, that they can do it.
Absolutely.
So now we brought it, the parts, and they are doing it. First of all, you bring local expertise there to do it, and then you have it much cheaper, then it's affordable. This is the way to have Rwandans and people in Africa in motorsport.
Before concluding, this FIA General Assembly and the FIA Award ceremony is expected to bring together over 800 people,
Yes.
delegates who will be here in Rwanda. Like, do you think of helping the country out in that term of creating partnership so that we can get more investors in this game on this African continent in Rwanda, in the country of Thousand Hills?
Yes, yes, the country of the Thousand Hills. You're right. Bringing here the teams, bringing the award with all of this entourage, from the superstars to the people, officials, to the members. With that number, with that also media that we are going, sport builds bridges, supposed to be. Sports also do not break walls. And that is why the connection of Rwanda, Central Africa, with the rest of the world can go by media, by peace, by also sending the message. The people who are here, you have word of mouth, you have all the material that is going to be here, which will be about Rwanda. Rwanda doesn't go, and I felt with dealing with your officials, they don't go with an adventure or it's just waste the money. Whatever is being invested is for Rwanda, sending a message. I mean,
Sure.
the cleanliness, the hospitality, the safety of here. What does this bring? It brings a good environment for investment. Why would I come and invest in something that I am not feeling it's going to be secured? But when you bring these stars here with these big teams here from around the world, they send a message to the others. Oh my God, this is a safe place. Maybe I come there for a holiday. Maybe I come there for a visit, but maybe I come there to explore if we can invest. So the whole system I'm talking about, it's not just motorsport, but the whole thing around it also is together.
Some people may start thinking about those big stars. Are there some names who are expected to be in these FIA awards and General
Yes.
Assembly as well?
And the world champion of Formula One, Max Verstappen, he's coming. And also when we had, it's a funny story, we said, we need clean verbal language all the time. And of course, very young, and he said one word and then they penalized him with community service. So of course, the press, what kind of community service? So I met him in Qatar. I said, Max, don't worry. He came to my office. I said, what you are going to do is you are going to encourage and inspire young girls and boys who wants to go into motorsport, and you will do that. That is your community service when you come in and receive your trophy in Rwanda. And he was so happy. So this is a link, because whenever you do, I was a champion in my area in the Middle East for 20 years, but The people who made me is also the fans. And the fans don't come from far away, and it's only by internet and by social media. The fan is when you live them, when you sit with them, when you feel them. So it is a big part out of the duty that a champion, an ambassador have to give back to the society. And what is best than when we talk about diversity, than him being here. And he was so happy, by the way, about it. And so pleased. He didn't have a resist. I tell you, he was so happy that when he is here, he will sit with the upcoming kids, girls and boys, to inspire them.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Concluding by the last question, any message to the motorsport enthusiasts here in Rwanda or beyond?
Well, I can see the love of motorsport from Rwanda, and I can promise that with the support that we give to the Rwanda Automobile Club, we will also add the mobility, safety and sustainability. But going back to motorsport, even today when I was in the opening the test laboratory for helmets, there was the minister of infrastructure, and he said infrastructure, and he said to me, I love motorsport. I was going to start rallying, but then I became a minister. So I said, I wish you come back. So it is a culture. The love of cars is there. Sure. So where do we come? As I said to you, it's the affordable vehicles that we have to support with, and we work hand in hand.
Yeah. Yes, it was Mohammed Ben Sulaim, the president of FIA, and thank you so much for having this time with us.
No, thank you, Adam.
Yeah, and this is RTV. You can keep watching more programs for RTV. I'm Adam.
Thank you very much, Adam Squizera, for that very insightful interview. Moving ahead, mental health professionals are underscoring the importance of collaboration in the journey toward healing from trauma, noting that resilience fosters hope for a brighter future. During a discussion focusing on the state of trauma and the path to resilience 30 years after the genocide against the Tutsi, Dr. Jean Damascene Bizimana, Rwanda's Minister of National Unity and Civic Engagement, highlighted that mental health remains a significant challenge for the Rwandan community as a whole.
Resilience concerns us all. Surveys conducted by organizations such as the Rwanda Biomedical Center, Unity Club, Minibumwe, and other researchers show that some categories of Rwandans born after the genocide against the Tutsi still experience trauma from our past history. This is why resilience is a crucial value in addressing this issue and overcoming the consequences of the tragic history. We must view resilience in a broader context, as building a society involves multiple factors. Among them, two main elements stand out. First, a nation's history, and second, its culture. A country cannot strive without acknowledging its past. History cannot be ignored, and ours is especially painful, as within a period of 35 years, Rwandans who once lived in harmony, sharing the same country, convictions and leadership were torn apart by politics of hatred, division, and ethnicity. The second essential aspect of building a society is culture. Culture is made up of values and prohibitions. These values are key in helping us overcome trauma and mental health challenges.
According to the Rwanda Biomedical Center, 1 in 4 people in Rwanda experience mental health issues. Annually, 42,213 new cases are recorded, translating to an average of 3,305 individuals seeking mental health services each month. This discussion reinforces the need for continued efforts to address mental health challenges while supporting individuals in building resilience and a sense of hope for the future. As Rwanda kicks off its Technology Week, government, institutions and private sector players have committed to increasing the availability of information and documents in Kinyarwanda. This effort aims to boost the digital literacy rate across the country. Running from October 12th to 18th, the week is dedicated to promoting technology adoption in all sectors.
We'll be kicking off the Digital Inclusion Council, which is a broader program that is going to work hand in hand with the private sector, with academia, as well as with the government in order to, one, enhance talent, but also bring in the job opportunities so that we harmonize on how if you're a BPO company, if you're an ITO company, if you're a company that is in workforce development, there is room for you on that front.
Patrick Mutidi, a technology expert at BK Group, highlighted how using Kinyarwanda in services provided to farmers ensures inclusivity and makes it easier for them to adopt technology.
So we have built a robust scoring system which can tell you this farmer has this much land, this farmer needs this input. Depending on the soil type, we are partnering with some partners who have satellite imagery, so that we'll be able to know this is the type of soil and this is the expected production. These are the information that we put into the scoring system, and the bank will be able to use that to provide financing.
Estelle Indrietz, a partnership senior manager at Irembo, noted a 10 to 15% increase in users requesting services independently since the launch of their Byikorere campaign in May last year.
They have a sick kid at home, and so they're in a rush to try and pay for their mutuelle. They think that they have to travel to go and make that payment, and when we come and tell them using the USSD code, you're able to pay for your mutuelle and take your child to the hospital, it's of course life-changing. So we've seen really great impact, and that's why we can't wait to continue and to really reach every single Rwandan, ensuring that we leave no one behind.
Esther Kunda, Director General at the Ministry of ICT and Innovation, reaffirmed the government's commitment to increasing digital literacy from the current 53% to 100% by 2029. She emphasized that this is critical to achieving Rwanda's goal of building a knowledge-based economy.
In terms of digital literacy, you've seen programs like Digital Ambassadors. We want to continue scaling those, but also working with different forums to get there. In terms of having skills within our ecosystem, you've seen programs that we've launched, or talked about, like 1 million coders, so that we can have really a competent talent pool. And then we're also looking at working with the private sector to increase and ensure universal access to smartphone and device ownership within the country.
The theme for this year's Technology Week is collaborating to build a sustainable technology-based economy. Moving ahead, members of the Rwandan Association of Women in Science and Engineering are encouraging young people, particularly girls, to pursue studies in science, technology, and engineering, urging them not to be deterred by those who doubt their abilities. This message was reiterated at the association's fourth meeting, which took place in Kigali on Thursday. The meeting focused on showcasing research conducted by women and girls within the Rawise community, aimed at finding solutions to pressing societal challenges. One of the presentations addressed a study of the reasons behind the high dropout rates among girls, with family issues identified as a key factor. Murungi Stella, Chief Digital Officer in the justice sector at the Ministry of Justice, highlighted that while many girls drop out of school before completing their education, there is also the issue of parents discouraging their daughters from pursuing subjects in science, technology, and engineering. She stressed the importance of building on existing achievements while addressing the challenges that persist.
I think there are many challenges, but I would like to first talk about the achievements that we've made so far and the efforts that have been put in place so far to make sure that a girl child is also capable to pursue STEM subjects or STEM career. So, for example, if you see now we have more role models, for example, the Honorable Minister of ICT and Innovation, Minister Paula Ingabire, you can see that the young girls can see her on TV, can hear all the topics that she talks about on radio or newspapers or anywhere. So at least there's a role model at that level of leadership, which is very good for us. And also the likes of us who are in different positions in government and also other peers that are in different positions in the private sector. So they are role models already. And now also the government has put in place so many policies, mechanisms in place to really push the girl child. And we can see that definitely when you look at the leadership roles, when you look at the schools, even though some in the higher education numbers decrease, but there's also that awareness that girls can join STEM subjects or STEM career.
Founded in 2015, Rawise brings together approximately 200 women and girls pursuing studies in science, technology, engineering, and related fields with academic qualifications ranging from bachelor's to master's degree. A warm welcome back and thank you for sticking with us on RTV News. Heading over to the international scene, U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has been named Time magazine's Person of the Year. Time bestowed the title on Trump once before, back in 2016. That and other stories relating to America in the following quick roundup, courtesy of VOA.
Sure, see you too. Welcome. Thank you for having me. Not easy.
I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president.
4,035 acres, and we're currently sitting at 7% contained.
And that VOA story marks the end of our bulletin. But before we close off, let's have a recap of our headlines. President Paul Kagame has called for an end to acts of violence targeting survivors of the genocide against the Tutsi, including killings, urging that perpetrators be held accountable through legal means. Mental health professionals are underscoring the importance of collaboration in the journey toward healing from trauma, noting that resilience fosters a hope for a brighter future. On the international scale, U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has been named Time magazine's Person of the Year. And on that note, we conclude our bulletin tonight. On behalf of the news production team as well as the technical team, we'd like to thank you for sticking with us on RTV News. My name is Martina Abera. Stay safe and continue enjoying the festive season. Good night.